The Pasuk says, the Zohar says, Asher Amar Hashem leMoshe, Esof et ha'am. Gather the people. Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe, gather the people. The Zohar says, gather the people. Mishum shebe'er zu, the well of Miriam, which was a miraculous incident all the time. Be'er zu lo ne'edra mehem, was always present with them. Everywhere they went in the desert, they had that well with them. Be'er shel Miriam. Ve'if tomar, if you could say, איך היו יכולים לשאוב כולם ממנה? How is it possible from one well? Let's say you're talking about 3 million people coming in and taking water. I think this is a greater miracle than the well travel, just as big of a miracle as the well traveling with them. You know what's the consumption of water of 3 million people in the desert? It's ridiculous. How many people are in Manhattan?
7 million.
No, Manhattan.
Oh.
That's 2 million people, okay? 2 million people. We're not in the desert. We have water coming from upstate New York, you know, through aquifers and the whole. I mean, you've seen the reservoirs up to upstate New York? It's huge. The lakes, they're ridiculous. From all over, they're bringing water to New York City, and we're not in the desert. So that by itself is a big miracle. So the Zohar says that. Ela, but rather she yatz'al l'shlosha asar nechalim. What was, it's so beautiful. That well split into 13 different creeks. Va'mabua mitmale v'yotze lechol hatzadim. And it was bubbling up. It was overflowing all the time. It was coming from inside. And did you ever see this, by the way? Did you ever see sometimes wells? There are different types of wells, or different types of springs. Certain springs, it's like clockwork. They empty it up, and all of a sudden they fill up, and they start overflowing. They overflow. It's like there's a reservoir somewhere. It goes down and goes up. Certain just flow all the time. This one, every time they settle down, it will come in, it would overflow, and it would spread to all directions equally. V'az Yisrael, b'sha'a asher ratzu, every time that they stayed in one place and they wanted water, Ayu Yisrael omdim alea, they used to stand on the be'er, which is, it's a wonderful thing. They used to stand over there, v'omrim shira. They would praise, sing like Hallel, the Ali Be'er, what they used to say, and Ma'amru, what they used to say, Ali Be'er, rise well. V'ha'ali me'mayich, and bring about your water, lehotzi mayim lakol, bring water to all. Ule'ashkot mimech, and to quench any thirst. V'chen hayu omrim hashevach shel be'er zu, and they used to sing the praises for this well. Be'erot, wells, are not just wells in Jewish concepts like this. They represent more than that. We know the story of Yitzchak that dug the wells of exactly the wells of his father when he had the fights with Plishtim. Wells represent tradition, masoret, values. They represent more than that. They represent the abundance that comes from the be'er. And how does the be'er come? Not like a waterfall. From above down, right? If you have a waterfall, remember we went to the waterfalls? There's a pool up there, which was very nice. For those of you who went with us hiking. There was a pool up there, and then you can look. Remember, Danny? Yeah. It was amazing. You go like this, and then the water goes, I don't know, 50 feet, 70 feet down. We were standing right on top of it. This was crazy. But rather, be'er symbolizes the shefa, the way it comes. How? From the bottom up. From this world, the hitorerut, the awakening, comes from here up. You want the shefa to come? You want the flow. Are you ready for the flow? The answer is no. You're not ready for the flow. He who knows, knows. There's somebody specific that I'm talking about. You're not ready for the flow. Because you need to do something for it. It's waiting for you. The water from the bottom is waiting for the water from up there to connect together. But the yearning has to be from here. There's no drop, one drop that falls from above that doesn't have two drops from the bottom here wanting to connect with that. You wonder, why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu helping? Why does He help us? He helps us because He wants us to try more. He wants us to put the effort in. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give you more than you can imagine. How much do you want? You want 50 billion? How much do you want? Trillions? It's not a problem for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you. But what do you want? What are you willing to do for it? I can, for example, help you. I can give you advice of what to do, where to go, which school to go to, which profession to get into. We'll sit down and we make charts and lists and we'll call telephones. Are you willing to do the work? Do you have this orerut from you, from here, to connect for something higher? Do you want to grow? Do you want to develop? Or you just want somebody else to do the work for you? You just want to stand. You think that life is like a shower. You're going to stand over there, you're going to open the water, it's going to come from above, and that's how things are going to happen. You forgot what it took, or do you know what it took to build this shower? The pipes, the water, the infrastructure, the water mains, and all that involved with that. So for you to be able to clean yourself like a shower, look at how much effort had to go in. You want the flow to come from above, you have to work really hard here. You think the water comes from above from the shower, right? Right? You're wrong. It comes from the ground. Where does the water main come? From heaven? Where's the water main? In the ground. And somebody had to dig it. And they had to get dirty. And they had to bring the big, water routes that they have that comes from upstate New York through the bedrock, under the river. It's a canyon of water going there. And you think that it comes from above, from the pipe. You're wrong. You cannot be more wrong than that. You need to do the hishtadlut, the effort. And you need to acknowledge that. And that's what the Zohar says. The Zohar says, כל מי שרוצה לעורר דברים שלמעלה, במעשה, בין בדיבור, whether it's, you want to do something from above to happen. You want HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to bring us Mashiach. You want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do this. You want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do that. Whether it's במעשה or בדיבור, whether with action or doing. אם המעשה או הדיבור לא נעשה כראוי, if it's not done appropriately and it needs to be done here, it's never going to happen. Now you understand why you pray, and sometimes nothing happens. Because it says the following. You need to awaken, le'orer, you need to get things moving there. And how you do that? V'akadosh Baruch Hu is close to all these people. And some people, the prayers do answer. Are answered. Why? Karov Hashem lekol keroav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is close to all those who call upon Him. Right? לכל, קרוב למי שדהו, לכל אשר יקראו באמת. Truthfully we'll call him. You know what's the numerical value of emet? And you know what it corresponds with? Vehanefesh. You have to call HaKadosh Baruch Hu from the soul, from within. No, not just from your lips. When you say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, build Yerushalayim, do you really mean it? Or you just say it, you can get over which one I say? When you say, Refaenu v'nirafeh, ve'aleh arucha u'marpeh lekol tachaluenu, When you say Rofeh Choleh Amo Yisrael, when you say about cure all the ill and sick people in our nation, do you mean also those who you cannot stand? Do you include those who just had a fight with? Those who you don't like? Or those you say, please take them quick? Not them, I didn't mean these. Who are you referring to? Are you really truthfully calling? When you say, Retzeh, want our tefillot, accept it. And our eyes should see you coming back to Eretz Yisrael, and bring us back to the country. Do you really mean that? Do you really mean that? Now you wonder why he doesn't answer you. Because it can be that for that I really mean, and for this I don't mean. Be'emet, from beginning to an end, as we said before. Your tefillah has to be truthful, from beginning to an end. You have to mean sincerely, from the soul, every single thing you say. When you say, Barachenu Hashem bechol ma'aseh yadenu, bless us in all our actions, you mean yours and not his because he has a store next to you? Well, you don't think HaKadosh Baruch Hu can have enough parnasah for both of you? So what if he's competing with you? So what if he wants to put you out of business? You have to go to the mud? You say, listen, he has his own clients, I have my own clients. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has more than enough for everybody to live. I don't want to go into this mud. Eventually, people will come to you. Are you truthfully saying what you're saying? When you say you want to learn, oh, I want to learn Torah so much. Really? Really? Now let's see. All of a sudden, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you a test. And your test is, you're going to have a test on the day that you really want to learn. Or they would say to you, por favor, señor, necesito tomar un clase en español if you want to graduate out of our school. So are you going to take Torah and going to throw it in the garbage, or are you going to do whatever you can to take classes in Spanish at the Bolivian embassy at 12 o'clock at night? Or are you going to take Spanish online? Or I don't know what. How much do you really want to learn? Are you going to learn more than you want to date? Or you have a Zman Kavua, I learn between the hours of 8 and 10 o'clock at night. I can see you I can date you from 5 to 8. At 8 o'clock I got to go learn. What's more important to you? When you say, this is important to me, do you really mean that? And for that you need to say, Am Yisrael said Shira. When they came to the well, and they says, Liber, the Orerut, has to be the joy. When you see the Shefa coming, when you see the abundance come, because you said, Liber, go up, and the water will come and make us all thirsty. All the thirsty will quench our thirst. Let the water come. And there's a big simcha, and big enjoyment. That's what we are missing. We don't have this initial joy that we want to do something for myself. We're waiting for everything to fall on our lap. And that doesn't do it. And the Zohar says, Maze be'emet, what does it mean? Sheyodim le'orer davar be'emet. When they do the hitorerut, they really mean that. When they came and says, rise well, bring up your water. They didn't say, bring up your water to me, but not to this guy, because I don't like him. And it says, this is how you're really being answered. When Eliyahu made those guys cry to the Baal, they did some magic. Even the magic didn't work, because there's no emet in a lie. Only when he says, Ribono shel olam, help me. Truthfully, Eliyahu called. He was answered. Don't go acharei Baal. Don't go after things that are foolish or are not real. Because Because you will call, will not be answered. So if you want something that is not real, don't call for it, it won't come. And it says, if the whole entire world would knew how to do so, it will be a totally different place. Only the tzaddikim, only the righteous people. And why the tzaddikim? Because when you are rodef tzedek ve'emet, a tzaddik is a person who not only seeks justice, but he seeks the truth. Rodef tzedek ve'emet, the truth itself. Only these people are able to draw from themselves throughout all the roots and all the branches of the neshamot what is exactly needed. You're able to do so. That's why it's important to live in a place that are people who dovrei emet, people who are truthful, people who pursue justice, right justice, who would not speak from one side of the mouth and say something else to another person. Ish emet. You want your tefillah to be answered. You have to awaken this inside of you, that need, the nefesh, your soul, the need to say the truth. You want your tefillot to be answered. That's how it is. If your tefillot are not answered, either you're not truthfully seeking it, or you don't have the hit-orirut, the awakening, the spiritual awakening from within for you, the willingness to do things, you don't have it here. That will cause a drought, a heavily drought on your actions. You want success, truthfully want it. Truthfully seek it, without any kind of limitations to anybody. Bring it all to all, and everybody be happy. The same thing, where do we see that? We see this from Moshe Rabbeinu. When Yeshua came and he told them, the prophet says, I wish everybody would be a prophet. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu was able to become Moshe Rabbeinu, because he wanted everybody to do it. It wasn't about himself. It was about the klal. When you bring this upon yourself to do things for the klal, and you truthfully want it, not for your position of power, honor, and so on and so forth, because you truthfully, that's what needs to be happen, then you're going to reach the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. Abotai, let's seek emet, let's find emet, and let's live with emet from beginning to the end, including the middle. Questions?